Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing great, enjoying the summer, and just looking at stuff with a lens to not buy, because that's one of the things that happens. If you are a minimalist, you are probably refraining and reasoning with yourself as to not buy stuff that you do not need. And this video is about the best minimalist brands out there, the ones that I love the most, my favorite minimalist brands when it comes to clothing and accessories. No shoe brand in this one. So stick around and let's look at them. But first, if you are new here and like minimalist menswear, please make sure to check out my other content and also leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and do the whole shebang. All right, so the first ones are going to be, we're going to move in a linear sort of fashion. So from the most accessible one to the most premium ones. I think there's about 5 or 6 of them. So let's begin with the first one, which is MUJI. MUJI is just amazing. I just love everything about MUJI. MUJI is Japanese, so it has its roots in minimalism. It is also a wonderful experience. If you have ever been to a MUJI store, you know what I'm talking about. When you walk in, there is this warm aura that the store has and this fantastic smell that the store has. Everything just feels very organic, and it just feels the opposite of what you feel in a, say, fast fashion store like Zara. Nothing against Zara, I love Zara too, but what I'm trying to say is that MUJI does feel a bit better, a bit more refined. It has that edge of Japanese minimalism. Now, the other thing is, if you have not been to a MUJI store, you must go once you get the chance, because it is one of the best things that you can experience as a retail outlet. And then secondly, MUJI clothing is not as popular as it should be. I think it's really, really understated and really underrated as well. I got myself a couple of pieces last winter, and they are fantastic. Especially got brushed cotton flannel shirts, which I just love. They can be all season. The material has aged super well, and I got them in a black and a white mandarin color. They are extra versatile because I kind of wear them as an overshirt in the winters, or like, say, a turtleneck or a sweat, and in the summers I wear them just as a shirt, and the material is just excellent because it just allows you to breathe when you need to and keeps you warm and toasty when you are in the cold. So their clothes are highly functional. They are extremely well well made to be the feeling that you get on your body is just excellent. And also their pricing point is really fair for what you're getting. I would be checking out a few more pieces this season probably, and I have some of my older videos which you can check out for the items that I got from MUJI. Link will be in the description. Moving on to the close second brand is going to be Massimo Dutti, which is from Zara. I think it's their premium offering, and Massimo Dutti is really nice. I recall Massimo Dutti as a buyer about 10 years ago in 2013, when the brand was sort of at its peak, and I used to live in London and I used to be a student there. And Massimo Dutti has this sort of old world touch to it, which now I think they're changing their brand direction into more being like a COS, like a sort of minimalist, but it still has its sartorial touch here and there. I think their clothing is really good. Their pricing is, of course, a bit more elevated than MUJI, but you do get a really good, quality for what you're paying for. You can also get them at sale because it is held by Zara. There is a ton of sale going on all the time, and I think their materials are strictly natural, so they use a lot of wool, which is good. They use a lot of silk, so silk is something that you can look at Massimo Dutti for. Their color palette is neutral. I also like the fact that their clothing is well cut, and it follows a more classic sartorial sort of style. So you're never going to be too much on the trend, but more on the classic, elegant, all-time style. Moving on to the third, probably my favorite of the list, is COS. I have not bought a lot of COS in a long time, but I just love this brand. Everything, again, like MUJI, their store experience is highly elevated. You should check out a store if you need to. Their retail spaces are architecture derived. Their facades are very clean and clean lined. Everything that I love. I keep saying that word because I love it. Clean lined. Their stores are like extremely well done. If you appreciate also design as an overall umbrella, space and architecture is something that they have on point. It's very minimalistic. Of course, the brand is held by H&M and hails from Sweden, so they have their roots again like MUJI in minimalism. Cost is extremely good. However, I have slightly been off it because they've kind of become a bit more trendy in experimenting with colors and too many asymmetrical sort of fits which are not super classy for me personally, but their quality has always been great, and if you can get them on sale, it's even better. It is harder to get it here in Toronto, in Canada, but US has a better cost supply for sure, and Europe is just overall better. So cost is there. Moving on from cost is another H&M offering by the name of Arcat. Arcat is just fantastic. I do not know if Arcat, sometimes their pricing is funky, sometimes it's above cost, sometimes you can get items for lesser. Arcat is just quality overall. Arcat is just, everyday staples in the right kind of quality. I got a pair of track pants, like sweatpants, in really heavy cotton, and a sweatshirt, and I think a sweat zip. And I just really love wearing them during the winter time on the house lounging. Arcat is again harder to find here in Canada, but because it ships, I guess, from the US or the Netherlands where their supply is from. Arcat can also be found at a sale, but their clothing is just ultra plain, and your everyday basics. If you want an elevated piece there, Arcat is the place. Their quality is also reflected by the fact that they share their suppliers of where they source the item from. So it's a sustainability related brand that is just fantastic in like classic minimalist clothing. Again, it is Swedish, held by H&M. So it has that. Sadly enough, I've never been to an Arcat store, but I would love to check that out. So it's on my list. Probably there's one in New York. Next time I go to New York, that's my plan to check it out. Moving on to the more premium offerings. Now, this is somewhat split. KOTN is a brand that I find ultra interesting. I think it is a Canadian brand, and it is just fantastic because it uses real Egyptian cotton. Their clothing is just fantastic because their clothing is, what cotton should feel like. I think due to fast fashion, we've really forgotten what natural fibers and materials can do for you. And KOTN again is a Canadian brand, like I said, and the retail space is super interesting. There's a store here downtown Toronto in Queen Street East, and I've been there, and it's fantastic. It's just got this rustic, organic feel to it. Their idea is probably to push how, the feel of organic cotton should feel like. Their clothing is sort of highly priced, but you do get sales. So it's kind of more on the Arcat line. So it's borderline premium, but it's not super expensive. They also make a ton of neutral colors and like oversized fits and, plain silhouettes, which will be great for someone looking for the long run. I have some items that I got from them last year again, and in the sale, and they are fantastic. Their quality just feels robust. I have these turtlenecks that I really love because they are easy to layer in the winter, and their cotton just feels a certain way. It has a certain weight against your body, and you just feel high quality when you're wearing these items. Moving on to the final two. Now, this is an interesting brand. It's called Reece. Reece hails from the UK. I think it's a London brand. All in all, British minimalism at its best. It has that refined sartorial touch that you find in British clothing with a sort of understated element to it. Their clothing is sort of like expensive, especially here in North America, because the brand is not super popular here. They had an outlet store in the UK, and you do have an outlet store here too, but it is harder to find items. And when you're paying for cross country, there's always a chance of customs, and that is the only iffy bit, but their clothing is ultra high quality. The last experience I had buying it was about a few years ago in a sample sale in New York, and that clothing is still with me. The only one I carry now in here with me at Toronto is a pair of black corduroy trousers, which are about 4 years old, and they have held up beautifully. Their cut is excellent, their fixtures, their quality of stitch is superb, and I would highly recommend you check out Reece. I think New York even has a store, so you can check it out. They had a store here in Toronto, but unfortunately it is no more. They had one in Eaton Center, and I hope they open up one soon. And then finally, top of the echelon, my favorite one from all these. They are all my favorite, but this is the top of the top, is Theory. Theory is New York City's offering for minimalist, high quality, everyday clothing, and I cannot say enough about Theory. I hope one day they send me stuff to review, and that would be awesome, manifesting that. But Theory is just outright awesome. Every item that I bought from Theory just speaks high quality. Their stuff is ultra minimal. So amongst all these other brands, Theory has this 60s sort of minimalist modernist approach, and Theory also has common projects as the official shoe for the brand, which I absolutely love. So everything that they design, especially their trousers, seamlessly just go with common projects, which I absolutely love. Theory again is on the higher side of pricing, so the hack here is to always check out Theory Outlet and Essence. Essence offers sometimes beautiful pricing, about 60% off on Theory clothing. It's already in Canada, so you don't have to worry about customs or duties or whatnots. So Theory is my final one, and I just love everything about Theory. I have a few pieces now, because every time I see something where I can justify the price, I invest. That's the clothing for the longer term. I'm gonna do a Theory overall brand review, so you'll see most of my pieces there, so stick around. And that's it for today. I think that's the ultra minimalist bandwidth of clothing. I intend to strictly stick to these clothing companies for the future of my wardrobe, and I highly recommend you do it too if you're interested in minimalist clothing and building your wardrobe in that line. And with that in mind, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please take care. Have a great one wherever you are, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for tuning in. Latest. Bye.